Yeah, what if it was just like a...
Let me start this video with a story. I have been into FPV drones since 2014, and that sounds like a really long time, right? Even though I was invited to all of those drone racing events and everything like this, and I was doing kind of okay on them, I have never exceeded this type of a level that I would like to. And was it because I wasn't training enough? Probably, yeah. 6 months ago, up to today, I have started the Train Insane series. And if you are interested, I'm leaving a card here with the first video of the Train Insane series. So I have asked my friends Stickman FPV, Hygroshank FPV and Scave FPV to help me become a better drone racing pilot, because they have seen that I have some kind of a skill, but it's just lacking some kind of things. And they agreed with me to do the Train Insane series with me, and I'm really grateful for this, so totally check them out, their links are down below. And they are the most pro pilots that I kind of know, and they were in kind of my area. So I actually moved into Frankfurt area just to be with those guys and train. Up to 6 months right now, we are doing the Train Insane series. And how is my skill getting better? You can see in the videos that I'm leaving somewhere in the cards. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 tips on what to do to become a pro drone racing pilot. And I'm gonna share some of my mistakes too, so don't worry about it, because I've made a lot of mistakes on my way. So the first and the most important thing that I've learned from the guys is keep your builds clean and always make sure that everything is alright. Even though you may think that, yeah, I haven't crashed in the last session at all, still check your screws, because the vibrations on the drones might loosen them a little bit. And just always be sure to check them and screw them a little bit more, and be sure that there's not too many things on the ESC itself. Don't make a sandwich that's just barely holding itself, and be sure that none of the parts of your drone is moving. And this is actually something that I was having big problems with. Like every single time at the beginning, the guys were holding my drone and I was so sure that it wasn't crashing. Like I did nothing. Nothing wrong happened to my drone. And they were still getting those screws and they were like, oh my god, Lexi, you need to take care of this. Oh my god, Lexi, why didn't you do it again? Oh my god, Lexi, this is all moving around. And yeah, they were right. And it's kind of a thing that you may think like, yeah, duh. But now, let's be honest, who's doing that? Because I was not doing that for a long time. And sometimes they are still catching me on not doing it. So, 6 months. Huh. Still not going well. The second thing is stick time does not necessarily equal good stick time. And I actually thought that any stick time that I have is a good stick time, because I'm moving my sticks, I'm doing muscle memory and everything like this. And the truth is, that's not true. Totally not. If you think that just going through gates and just going through the tracks is gonna step up your game, you may be right. But there's one thing that I have never thought of. So when you are crashing on one element only, you never go to the rest of the track anyway. So the problem is, if you are doing something slower, or you see that you have problem with one element, let's say it's a power loop or a split S, the best thing that you can do is to realize what elements are causing trouble for you and then train them as much as possible for hours. It's not that you will do 5 lipos, it will turn out okay-ish twice, and then, yeah, I have it. No. The thing is that you are supposed to be training this one element for hours and hours and hours and hours until it's perfect. And pro tip, it's never gonna be perfect actually. So just do it as much as possible, and then you will see that your times overall get better. And I know that this may sound like it's really boring, but to be honest, training is not supposed to be fun. And if you are still watching, you should totally click subscribe and smash that bell button. Number 3 is faster doesn't necessarily mean faster. And that kind of sounds weird. I mean, faster is faster, right? No, it's not. So the thing is, I was making this mistake myself. I was going full throttle on all of the straights to be as fast as possible, and I was overshooting most of the obstacles on the race. And the thing is, if you are overshooting an obstacle, you are losing extra second. If you are overshooting stuff just because you wanted to be fast on the straight, this is not good. So being faster doesn't necessarily mean faster. And the guy or girl who's kind of behind you and going a little bit slower even on the straights, but doing everything extremely tight, might end up in front of you in the final timing. If we will look at the ladder, you are saving much more time going really tight to the pipes or the gate itself, while not really going fast. You may do it extremely slow, but you will still be faster than a person who goes full throttle and makes really huge circles. Number 4 is, do not look for the gate. What do you mean by that, Lexi? What do I mean by that is, when you are going through the gate, you are not supposed to be just going straight through it and then turn and look for another gate. The point is that when you are having one gate and there's another one on the left, while you are going through the first one, you are supposed to already be ready to go to the next one. And this is why we have the racetrack walks, just to get to know basically where to turn, where to go, and how to actually go through the track. So it's the point not to go through the gate, look for another gate, okay, go through the gate, look for another gate, go through the gate, because you are losing a lot of time while doing it. Number 5, and this is the most duh of them, consistency is the key. And this is with everything, whether you are trying to grow your social media, whether you are trying to be a good violinist, or whether you are trying to be good with drone racing. And that doesn't mean that you will be training once a week. That means you should be training as much as possible. Set yourself a schedule. Do it like 3 or 4 times a week. And I know that this may not sound like fun, but the thing is that races are for fun. Training is not going to be fun. And that's true. It's like with most of the things. At one point you stop having fun and you are doing something that we may call consistent training or deliberate training, where you are really bored, well, not bored, but it's not fun with what you are doing, but you are learning and you make your brain learn what are the best things to do, what are the best moves, the muscle memory, and everything like this. So I want to finish this episode with a little bit of a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram what are the questions that you have regarding drone racing per se, and I will not answer all of them. I will just answer the ones that are showing up the most. What do you think? How much training is necessary to actually compete? I would say compete with your friends first, and if you see that there is like a local race, totally sign it, because this is kind of an experience that you want, and you may talk with other people who may give you other tips regarding your flying. It is really important to start as quickly as possible. Like, if you want to ask me when to start drone racing, my answer is really easy right now. Can sim training replace real training? And my answer is yes and no. Yes, because this is a stick time that you need, but no, because there's this thing. If you are playing only sim, like, let's say we're playing Velocidrone only. The thing is that you are skipping on wind, you are skipping on like natural stuff that's going on when you are outside on a real race, and your drone is always perfect. So there's no checking screws, there is no checking what's wrong, and there's no real contact with your actual drone. So yes, it helps a lot, but I would say the best is a mix of like 30 versus 70 or 40 versus 60, but 60, the biggest part should be the real training in a real life, and 30 or 40% is like for rainy days or when it's extremely cold outside. How you have sponsorships? Should you have sponsorships if you're training and going to racing? So the sponsorships area is really different than everything else, and to actually get a sponsorship you already have to have some kind of a performance, whether on the races or in social media, because you need to remember that sponsorships are mutually beneficial things. Sometimes the people are coming just to see if there is a new talent out there, and you also need to remember that you need to have social media presence of any kind, because it's really hard to just get a sponsorship, and do nothing with it, because you benefit from a company, but how does the company benefit from you? You need to work on that sponsorship. Sponsorship is not getting free stuff. Sponsorship is real work. You don't have to have sponsors to actually go and compete. There's a lot of pilots that don't have any sponsorships and are still competing and doing really, really well. And if you are more seen, the chances of you getting a sponsorship are much higher. And if you are actually interested in building your social media presence and getting those sponsorships and paid deals, I actually made an ebook that's linked down below, and with the code AWAKEN you will get 30% off it, and you may learn how to do all of those things kind of effortlessly. So sponsorships are not important. If you don't have a sponsorship and this is why you're not going to race it, you're doing a lot of mistakes right now. Don't do it. So go to the race whenever you can to create content for yourself, to show your skills, to actually win something and get this presence. And it's really, really important if you want to get sponsorships, because yes, they help, but yes, they are a lot of work as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to help me battle the algorithm. And I'm gonna see you in the next video, and yeah, if you have any questions, I will be answering every single one of the comments down below. And yeah, I think that's it. Stay awesome, fam. Bye.
I know how to boy.
Are they opening too?
Well, we can do it. He said like last time that it would open itself.